Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be starting a new game that I've been really looking forward to playing. It's kind of been sitting in my backlog for a while and I've been looking for a reason to play it, and today I've run out of reasons to not play it. Let's put it that way. So today we're starting Wartales. A very quick explanation of what the game is from kind of the developers. You are not the hero of the story. Destined to usher in a new era of peace, your goal is solely to survive and to thrive in this harsh and hostile world by any means necessary. And for those of you who haven't seen kind of the stuff on my channel before, this is kind of the game I love. Like, you're not supposed to be the hero of the story, you're just supposed to get by, do what you can to survive, and maybe eke out a living, kind of do what you can. I love strategy games, I love tactical games. This is kind of a mesh of both. The combat kind of looks like a medieval version of XCOM. I love XCOM type games, and it has kind of an overworld strategy type game to it as well. So it's the best of both worlds, kind of, in my opinion. We'll see if it kind of lives up to that, though. I haven't played too much of it. Full disclosure, though, that I did do a little bit of a testing file before I did do some recording, and then I did have like 2 files that I tried, one of which just got bashed in so quickly that I didn't want to upload it, and then the other before this one had a lot of audio issues in it, so I just kind of discarded that one. And then I do have all of the DLCs. I did get them on a Steam sale, so I've only seen the Tavern though, so I don't know what any of these others really do for you other than a few of them adding more character classes more or less. And then I don't even really know what the Tavern does for you other than eventually you can kind of change out some of the currency in that for currency for your actual characters. Other than that, I don't really know, but it looks like it's going to be a fun game. I really like strategy games, things like that, so I'm hoping everyone's going to kind of like this, and we'll kind of see what we can do and go from there. So with that being said, let's kind of start to see kind of what we can do. Just kind of show how the game starts off. You get to choose kind of what bonuses you start with and your starting companions. So you get a little bit of a decision in like what 4 heroes or 4 starting companions you start with. I think these last 4, or at least these last 3, are dependent on you having some of the DLC, and then 2 of them, I believe, start you with the new DLC type companions, one of which being the pugilist, one of which being the crossbowman. But then your bonuses are like a plus and a minus here, so the influence is like a currency you can spend on hiring people, getting information, talking people into doing things or not attacking you, I think, hiring companions, a lot of different things. And then the raw materials are things you use to repair. Crowns is obviously money. Medicine isn't necessarily how you heal. Like, you heal after battle almost no matter what. It's more of like, hey, you got an injury, so your guy moves half the distance now and you need a medicine to do that. He got a fracture, so he takes double damage, things like that. That's what you need the medicine for, and that's kind of bad. Each injury is actually usually pretty bad, so you usually want to get rid of those pretty quickly. Suspicion is like for illegal things, of course. Happiness is pretty big, so each of the bonuses and negatives are something to look at, but I'm more looking at the companions that you want to start with. The strange thing here is the swordsman has to use a sword. The brute has to use kind of like a hammer or a club, so the brute can't use an axe. The swordsman can't use an axe. The swordsman can't use a club. The brute can't use a club. The ranger is kind of a dagger user. The archer, of course, uses a bow. The archer can't use a crossbow, where the crossbowman can't use a bow, vice versa. The spearman, of course, has to use a spear. I believe the pugilist has to use fist weapons. There's a bunch of different classes. The warrior is the one that has to use an axe. He can't use the club or the spear, which is kind of interesting. And then the swordsman, the brute, and the warrior can all use 2-handed versions of their various weapons, or they can use a 1-hand and a shield. Now, there's various mechanics in this game where like a single hand and a shield can be incredibly useful compared to a 2-hander. A 2-hander can do a lot more damage. So it's kind of what you want to start with here, and what you think your tactics are going to be, how you think you're going to use them. But this associate's looking for a village where they can set up a tavern. 1, this hits really close to home for me, and I'm going to go into a story with that. But 2, they start with a cooking pot, which you need in your camp to be able to cook so you can keep making food for your companions. Otherwise, you need to make that. That's a really good start, first of all. And then the brute, I think, starts as a cook, and everyone can have have professions, or each profession gives various stats, and I believe Cook also gives Constitution, so the Brute could be a tank, because that gives him plus Constitution. That's actually a kind of cool start, but a little bit of Miacidae lore here. Though this associate's looking for a village where they can set up a tavern, kind of hits close to home, because in the past, I was a chef. I worked at a lot of different restaurants. I actually created menus for restaurants when I worked at them. But also, when I was going to culinary school, it used to be my dream to own a tavern or a tavern-esque restaurant and serve tavern-esque food. Now that dream is very, very far behind me, but I'd be living a little vicariously if I chose that, because I could set up a tavern. I think I want to go with this, despite the fact that, I get the cooking pot, which is a good start, I think, and the companions would have a brute that is a cook right off the bat, and I would get an archer that I would like, and a ranger. The spearman is a little to me, but I would get to live vicariously. I think I get to pick this. There's other really good starts in that beginning, but I think I wanted that. Now your companions are, then you get to choose a bonus, used to long walks, reducing the fatigue, the speed at which the troop fatigue stacks at 10%. I believe that's just like how quickly they fatigue when they walk or from battles. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Then experience gained from combat and influence from combat gained at 10%. I think I want this one, but just to show the others, you could Constitution increase by 10%. Constitution is both health and carrying weight. Excellent at slap games, so their critical damage is increased by 10%, and could sell anything to anyone, so the sale price of all items is increased by 10%. But I think I want to go with Cunning Fighters just to get more experience and influence. And if they had a flaw, it would be a somewhat meek appearance. Each companion's carrying capacity decreases by 1. So the more companions you have, the more that adds up. So, I mean, it might not be much in the long run. I don't entirely know, but it's one of those things of the more companions you have, I know the more that would add up. And the greediness, far more developed than others, also would add up more because the wages paid to companions increases by 1. So both those, the farther in the game you get, I think the more that would be. Eternal dissatisfaction reduces troops' happiness, reduced by 1 during each rest. I believe you can work around this with like food and stuff like that. So I think we're going to go with this, but you could also go with uncommon bout to battle luck, reducing critical hit by 3%. I believe this is critical hit chance, not critical hit damage, but I'm not sure on that based on how it is worded. And then have a hard time getting up. I'm not sure what the danger during rest is, but I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing, but danger during rest would go up by 10%. We're going to go with eternal dissatisfaction just because I believe I can work around that. Now, based on how my games have been going, because like I said, I did a test file, I had a file where my face got bashed in, and then I had the file where the sound just got a little wonky and I deleted it. I want to go for the adaptive exploration. The difficulty of all regions adapts dynamically to your group's size and your unit's power. The game will always offer a challenge suited to your troops. So no matter where I go, if I go somewhere like otherwise I shouldn't be going, it's going to be similar in size and similar in level to my group. Whereas otherwise it's region locked, and each region of the world will have a set difficulty from the start. You will have to expand and improve your troop before you can explore more dangerous areas and fight more powerful enemies. I see myself walking into a spot I'm not supposed to go to, and well, suddenly an enemy is not level 5, it's level 15, and I'm gonna get demolished. We're going adaptive. Now, difficulty. I haven't played the game too much. It's been years since I played XCOM, and I've been focusing mainly on Darkest Dungeon type games. I know the game type. It's just been years, so we're gonna go experience because I'm a little rusty, and I've been making mistakes. So I don't want one mistake and I'm dead, and, I don't want to have difficulty paying my people or, like, getting food, things like that. That being said, I usually play all my games like Iron Man. I enjoy playing my games like that. I don't intend on going back on my saves, things like that, so we're going to play Iron Man. That being said, I did already have the problems with the audio. I might accidentally, double-click the record button. A file might get corrupted. Things happen, but I intend on publishing everything I can, so we'll see what happens. So we get to customize all 4 of our starting companions plus the pony. So I think I'm gonna name the pony Chestnut. I think that's how you spell it. I'm blanking right now. It's been a day for me. and you can give all of them one positive trait and not have a negative trait, or two positive traits and have a negative. Now the pony, upon hitting, what is it, like level 3, can go into one of two things. It can be a pack pony or a battle pony. I just want it to be a pack pony, so it's not going to be in battle. So let's go Constitution, because Constitution increases carry weight. And then we can go Stocky, increasing carrying weight. And then go Unlucky, reducing its critical rate because it's not going to be in combat. And then we have Chestnut, the pack pony. I like it. Now, for all of our companions, I would like to be able to somewhat pronounce their names, so we're gonna kind of do a little finagling here. And I'm probably gonna... Ooh, I like that, actually. So, Isone? I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm okay with that one. You can, just to show you, we have the club and board for the brute, or we could go the hammer. I do want the club and board just because there are mechanics based on having the like shield and stuff. If she had the hammer, I would have more difficulty. And I'm not going to go with the wrath, but just to show you, we could have Wrath, 2 to 3 damage to the target if they have less than 50% health. If it's a fatal blow, they gain Fury. Fury increases the damage of the next attack by 50%. What I want is Taunt. Forces the target to engage her, which is basically one-on-one combat. They are forced to attack each other, which means they can't attack my ranger or my archer, anything like that, and they are weakened, so they do 50% less damage. Now, because she is my tank, I would like Brawny, Constitution, so health, and carry weight plus 50%. I'm also going to go for Thick-Skinned here, so guard plus 3%. That means she takes 3% less damage, and I think we're gonna take Drunkard on her, because we start with some alcohol, if I remember right. So she must consume alcohol to be happy with every meal, and alcohol wasn't too hard to come by in the beginning of the game, at least. So we have Isonde, the brute. Now I think we're gonna change that. I'm gonna slip up on that name. Odious. Alright, so he is our archer. Of course, he has shoot, so deals 3 to 5 damage to the target. He can have one of 3 skills. Run is a really good one for him, so disengages and moves in a straight line up to 5 meters in between units. So usually if you would disengage, it incurs attack of opportunity, so he would take damage before he gets to run away. This would let him run away for free. However, the one I really like is aim. So gains deafness, range of the next attack is doubled, so the range on shoot is doubled, and precision is enhanced. And what that means is this game kind of plays like range attacks are like real range attacks. If I'm shooting at a target and any enemy or any ally is in between me and my target, I have a chance of hitting the target that's in between us. So gaining precision means I have a better chance at hitting my actual target rather than the target that's in between us. So I like that realism effect, but the deafness kinda helps there. And then for our trait, we are going to take Nimble, increasing dexterity by 5%. I'm then going to take, where is it? I kinda want to take Quick, so he has a better chance of getting into position, so I don't have to use aim if I don't have to, because that takes a very limited resource. And then for our negative thing here, I think I want to take Scrawny, so his constitution is reduced. Hopefully he's not taking damage if he doesn't have to. Randar, the spearman. Yeah, we're okay with that. He looks a little young, but maybe he just has baby face to me. So he has a spear, which has a few things on it. So it only deals 2 to 3 damage to the target, but it knocks them back by 1 meter. And it deals double damage if it's used from a distance. Now for his skill, right now he has Wrath, but I was thinking, because this Wrath needs to actually be used in melee, meaning it's harder for him to use Impale. Like, he would have to Impale, then run up farther and use Wrath on them, which we can do. But I was thinking maybe we should have First Aid on him, so that he can heal a dying ally for 10% of their max health, so it does also remove all stacks of bleeding, poison, and burning, but he doesn't have to use this on a dying ally. He can just remove the stacks of poison, bleeding, and burning. Now, since Impale is a melee strength. I would like to use Strong to get plus 5% strength, and because we kind of have to maneuver him a bit, I would like Quick. And then we can give him Lazy, because I know the profession I would like to give him, and the profession doesn't really matter in my eyes too much. So he gains 20% less profession experience. And then Astho? No, I think we're Kenhar. Okay. So rangers kind of act like backstabbers or like rogues, things like that. They don't really stealth, but they like attacking from the back or the sides. So he has stab. The ambush is attached to that dagger, but increases a critical hit chance by an extra 30%, but it is only triggered when this unit attacks an engaged enemy from behind. And then instead of using first aid on him, I would like run. That way he can do that pre-mentioned disengage thing like I mentioned, because he is a little squishy, or he can get into position to do the backstabbing. Stab is a melee, but it is also a dexterity, so I'm going to give him nimble, and because he also has a lot of maneuvering I need him to do, I'm going to use Quick. And then we're also going to give him Lazy, so minus 20% profession experience. And that is going to be our starter group. Let's go. All right. At the beginning, their taverns will be the most famous in all the 5 kingdoms. Oh, to be dreaming about that again. Your companions are confident that with their innate talent for cooking and their love for fine drink, they've got what it takes to open the business they've always dreamed of. Who cares that they don't know where the nearest village is, and they've only mastered 2 or 3 recipes? Becoming tavern keepers is their true calling. Alright, so there's going to be pop-ups right here in just a moment. Feel free to read them before they disappear. I'm not going to be able to talk about them before they disappear. There are things on the overworld map that we can gather, so I'm going to go gather this. Are they not popping up? There we go. Feel free to read those. 3, 2, 1, and pop. Okay. Then this is a tutorial battle, so I have to fight a hoodlum and a poacher. Unfortunately, it doesn't name them like my people, so hoodlum and a poacher. But they are bandits. When your turn comes, play any unit you haven't used yet. So I get, it's not like initiative. It kind of is, but it isn't. I just get to use any unit I want as long as I have a turn. And then you can find out which enemy will then come into play, so prepare your strategy. So first will come this hoodlum and then the poacher. But I can use any unit I want on any of these actions. What it didn't tell you there is these blue boxes. As long as you haven't gone at all yet this turn, you can move whoever you want, wherever you want, in an infinite amount of times to prepare your strategy until you see things fit. So there is a poacher there, and their hoodlum there. So we're gonna be good with this, I think. So we're gonna have Isone move up to the poacher and engage him. So we're gonna pound. Did 6 damage. Alright. When you perform a melee attack on a free enemy, you engage them. An engaged unit can only attack their engaged opponent and has a higher chance of taking critical damage. Take advantage of this with your other units. An engaged unit is exposing their back. Attack them from behind to get a bonus. So this is kind of what I was talking about, is so Isone, the sword and board person, is now engaging this hoodlum. So he can't move away without getting an attack of opportunity, and he has to attack her. So now any of these units could go up and attack this hoodlum, like free of charge, basically. And Kenhar here is going to move up to the poacher and stab the poacher. So another thing I don't think they ever mention is if a archer or any ranged type character that has a ranged weapon is in melee combat, they can't use their ranged weapon. We got poisoned from that attack. So we're going to move here. and hit the hoodlum. 8 damage in the back. And then we'll hit the poacher here. So he just socks Kenhar. Alright, so I think we can get rid of him. We got galvanization, so plus 50% damage. There is a mechanic to do this. Then we're gonna run up here. And do the good old stick and lift with a pitchfork. You got 45 experience, 10 influence, which I mentioned can be used to recruit new companions or perform certain actions. 8 crowns, which is money, a damaged dagger, which gives the poisoning skill instead of the ambush skill, which we had, and plus 3 dexterity. There are also corpses, which are probably useless remains. Then again, there are uses for them. I'm just not going to go there for now. Kenhar leveled up. So as you can see, you can get attributes. They are randomly distributed, so I could get 1 dexterity, 2 constitution, or 1 willpower. However, that being said, if I get something later on, I can just pick what attributes I want. So I'm going to save this for now, because that's not going to be too long. And then I could pick 2 in whatever I want, and that's a lot better. And then I get a specialization. So remember when I said I had that taunt and I could have reduced damage? That took valor points. That was that like little orange bar at the bottom. I get to pick one of these and they give temporary valor points. So these only last until the end of the battle instead of once a day. I guess valor points last longer than a day, but nonetheless. So Valor's Audacity, every time this unit ends their turn next to an enemy and they are not engaged in combat. So that's kind of how I envisioned using him, because, you know, he runs up behind the enemy, stabs them in the back. If he doesn't finish him off, he gets that extra valor point. Every time this unit kills an enemy, you gain an additional valor point, or temporary valor point. And every time this unit ends their turn next to an ally and is not engaged in combat, so it's like this one, but instead of ending next to an enemy, they have to end next to an ally. I think I want Valor's Audacity because he's supposed to be running up to like whoever Isone's engaged with, stab him in the back. So let's go Valor's Audacity. And we can repair. So that uses these. 1 repairs 10 armor points, so we are only missing 2 here. And Isone's missing 4. I think we're okay for now. I'm not sure that's the right call. And then there's some iron ore here. Got little knowledge points here for exploring.
When I think of how many people don't shoe their ponies, it makes me want to pull out the little hair I have left. Tell you what, buy a horse from us, and I'll throw in the horseshoes for free.
Well, if the deal stands, I will come back for a horse, but I don't think I need another one right now. I also forgot to equip this other dagger. So this gives plus 1 dexterity. I lose stab, I gain poisoning, and I gain 1 dex. And gain 1 dex, so let's do that. Let's follow the road this way. I see some shinies. I think that's more iron ore that we'll be needing later. And let's go here. Got a knowledge point. So knowledge points here really quick. You can spend them on various things. So basic knowledge are things like run. You can run for short periods of time. on the overmap, so you get places quicker. Rationing, troop eats 3 less food a day. You pay less to your companions. You recruit for less. Your suspicion meter drops faster. You can eat those human corpses for food. Then later on, for 2 knowledge points, your repair materials and village blacksmiths restore 5 extra armor points for the same cost. You spend these influence points to be able to choose which attributes you buy, and a bunch of other things that I've never really discovered. You can buy recipes, things like that. The first one I really want to get is Run, just so we can get places faster. Then I think I want career plans, just so I can spend those attribute points. So first thing we can do is hire people. So I could get a swordsman. He's bloodthirsty, so critical hit increased by 3%. Constitution reduced by 5, so that's not the greatest for a tank. And he must consume meat or fish every meal to be satisfied, which we don't have. There's another spearman here. Don't think I really want another spearman.
The Lady Mayonnaise has offered a reward for any outlaw captured in the region. You should give bounty hunting a try.
We're gonna sell the extra shiv here. And I was thinking that we could buy some chains here, because tough chains made from alizarite, used to shackle a prisoner after capture. Essentially, we can hand prisoners over. That drops our suspicion meter, if we have any, by a little bit, and we get like 50 plus gold per prisoner that we hand over. So let's get like 2 of these. And then maybe hire the swordsman.
Carriage of justice. I demand trial by combat.
Or maybe I just go to the inn and see what happens. I mean, the wrath on him wouldn't be bad. I'm just thinking like getting another front row fighter to tie someone up for the spearman and the ranger. Because later on that scrawny is gonna bite me in the butt. Frainlard, fine. We'll hire you. 72 gold for him. Your companions doubt he's up to the task. So do I. Oh, there's more shinies down here. Are they friendly? They're not friendly.
Where's them refugees? We'll toss them out ourselves. We'll toss them all out.
You don't like refugees, do you?
I've been drinking. We all have. How do you know? You seers or something?
No. You just slurring your words like a few drunk people I know. And you're pointing a lot of fingers. And you probably reek at this point.
Never mind. Leave us be. We've got refugees to clear out of Tiltrin.
So I could have given them wine, because they totally need more beer and get more influence, or I can attack them for leather. That I'm gonna need. So a foot soldier and a phalanx soldier. What do they have against refugees, man? Alright, so what we're gonna do is who goes first? The foot soldier? So we're gonna tie the foot soldier up with Isona here. Pound on him. End the turn. Frainlard here can go at Evelyne, and slice her. Now they're both tied up. Can stab the foot soldier in the back. Good old crit there. Some actions grant temporary valor points that must be used before the battle ends, or they will be lost. That's why it's yellow rather than orange. Big ol' mace there, and you hit me for 2. We're gonna hit her. End our turn. And we're gonna come in from down here. That surrounded her, I guess. So surround and engage an enemy with 2 allies to get a bonus. We're gonna attack Aveen. That way it pushes into frame and doesn't knock it out of combat. Well, I guess we're gonna taunt so he does even less, using that valor point that I just got. And smack him good. And then stabby stab. What I'm interested in is if I can capture them. I don't think they're criminals though. They only wanted criminals. Eh. One whole damage with that mace. Sir. Capture. When an enemy has less than half of their health left, use chains or rope to capture them. Place one of your units next to an engaged enemy to try to capture them. Well, Aveen. And then we can Wrath because we have the extra point. End our turn. You know what? I think we might be able to take her out with the bow and arrow. Got Glorious. What's Glorious? Chance to generate 1 valor point at the end of the turn. So end that. Turn around and do the pokey pokey. I think that went well. So we got 5 leather that I was promised. And a Buckler of the Guard, 9 guard and 5 armor. So Isone, I think, is going to get this because it's plus 5 armor. And I don't need to bother with the barrel lid. Randar leveled up. So he can get plus 5 or plus 2 movement. That would be good. But what I'm really looking forward to here is, so he is strength. He needs movement. Because more movement would be great so he can get into range on things. But a lot of characters, if not everyone, needs a little bit of willpower because used to boost the troops' morale in combat, also increases critical hit. However, at 15 points, this unit survives the first time they should die in combat, once per combat. So I think everyone should be getting to 15, just being able to read that. And then he has the Valorous Audacity, Valorous Support as well, and then Valorous Victory. And then I've looked at the Spearman a lot, just like going down the paths. Later on, the Valorous Support looks like it could be really good, putting him next to maybe an Archer. Because if I went... It would take a little bit of explaining, but if I took Valor Support, he could stick next to an Archer and set up a lot of support stuff for them. But then he's not going to be doing too much. So I think for him specifically, I'm going to do Valorous Victory. And if I get another Spearman, I might do Support. And then I'm going to save the attributes once again for if I get the career pass so I can do Willpower. Although I am really, really tempted to do that movement. Yeah, I think we're fine on the armor. So continue. Let's go to the salt mine here.
Stop right there. This salt mine belongs to Her Ladyship Gontran. I can't just let you walk in.
That is not at all how I would have pronounced that name, but alright. So I can pay 40 gold to walk in. I can threaten him and get a lot on my suspicion meter, or I can persuade for 20 influence. Let's persuade him. I got some to spare.
As you wish. We can't mine the salt because of these 2 iron veins anyway. I really don't understand why you were so keen to go in there.
Well, let's take care of the iron mine. What does miner? Plus constitution. That works out, because getting constitution on Frainlard would be great. Place your cursor on the mining circle. Press left click when the green circle overlaps with the gray one to gain a maximum of ore. Eight ore, 3 experience, and oh, here. And pop. 7 more ore. Lovely.
You
Mind it.
cleared out the iron deposits? Well done. We can get back to work.
You're welcome. 20 influence for doing that. Oh, there's a bag here. There's salt in the bag. Hey, Kenhar, buddy. You can steal items using right-click. Each theft increases the guard's suspicion level. Well, it won't get me wanted. 64 suspicion. Okay. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Oh, I can inspect this. Okay. Cool. Some cloth, sure. Is something over here? No? Okay. Yay, got another knowledge point. Oh, there is something right there. Some flowers, okay. Alright, so this is like the main town, Stromcat. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alright, so where to even start? Let's just go around the thing, go to Master Hulane's Forge. I'm just going to discover this. I don't think I want to do blacksmithing as of yet because, well, I would like to. There's other professions that are more important right now to me.
You can use my anvil. I can also repair your armor. Oh, and I'm looking to hire a skilled blacksmith, if you happen to know one.
Well, I don't know a skilled blacksmith right now. None of us are very skilled, but I will take some raw materials for now, just so I can repair later. Thank you. Lady Marith Gontron. Oh, it's you.
Are you mercenaries? I'll have you know that we do not take kindly to refugees in these parts.
Why not?
Why, you ask? Because they have overrun our streets and are now taking to the roads. Erdogan is sending our way anything with legs and a mouth that cannot wield a sword.
Miss, you could have put them to work in that salt mine, getting rid of that iron that I just got rid of for you. You could have solved 2 birds with 1 stone. Are you dim?
You have your work cut out for you. There is no lack of honest folk in need of help to fend off the refugee menace.
I think you're the menace here. I'll be back to speak with you later, I think. Alright, 3 Hairs Market. Okay, I need meat.
Those refugees. I understand there's a war in Edoran, but that doesn't mean they can just help themselves.
Oh, that's expensive. I also need salt for some stuff. Okay, so good to know I can come to him to meet it. Get it.
You touch it, you buy it.
I can also get it from her. Gotcha.
Please, can you spare some food?
I can give a piece of bread. You're not gonna rob me, are you?
Thank you so much. I will pray for you.
Okay, well, we got 10 influence there.
Come, come. Take a look at my wares.
I definitely need some hemp. Let's also get some rope off of him. The hemp makes rope, but we'll need some extra rope.
For a few crowns, I can polish your armor. Please. I'm so hungry.
Why don't I just give you some bread? Sure.
Oh, a little spit and polish here and there. Done. So shiny I could go blind just looking at it. Thank you for all the money. It will be well spent.
Oh, and he took off. 20 gold. Lovely. Alright, Apothecary Clinic. We're gonna go here to get this so I can make an alchemist. That's gonna be the thing to make medicine, and now... Oh. Maybe I come back to that. For now we have an alchemist that's +1 dexterity. Traveler's Feast here. So that's another swordsman, a crossbowman, and an archer. So I was really interested in a crossbowman, just to see how they work. That being said, I'll probably come back to that.
See new faces around here. Well, apart from the Edoranian war refugees, that is. Feel free to come back often. There's always folk looking for work around here, especially since all the fighting started across the border.
Alright, so I can recover more valor points with him and probably sleep here without needing food. That's good to know. Brewing vat, culture shock. So I can also get what I need to probably get a thing there.
Might you be looking for work? Our role as emissaries is to ensure that all service requests are fulfilled. We regularly update our job offers.
By thing I meant another profession. Amateur hunters to the west. Unaware of the danger they face, a handful of Edoranians have gone hunting in the forest. Someone must warn them. Brotherhood wishes to see squad dead. Bandits have despoiled the merchant, one time too many, another to the west. And everything else is average. Okay. For now, we'll probably not do the averages. So the reason I keep looking at the archers, there's multiple paths the archer can take. If I go to mine really quick here. Like there's a multi-hit one that can do like a lot of damage to a lot of different targets. Or if you get animal companions, until you get Beast Mastery and Beast Master, you can't, or I guess you only need Beast Mastery, but Beast Master ones in particular kind of help along with this, can control animals. So until you get that, they're just kind of like NPCs that help you in battle. So I was kind of tempted to hire him.
Another group of mercenaries, but one morning they left without me.
So I kind of need like 80 gold to hire him. And Derelict Tavern here.
As the merchant in charge of selling this little marvel, it's my pleasure to welcome you, mercenaries.
Marvel, huh?
Take your time, have a look around this fine building and just soak in the atmosphere. Let me draw your attention to the low-maintenance dirt floor and the roof that's never once failed in its 100 years of existence.
Atmosphere. The singular candle. That's some atmosphere. And the cook the cook in me is screaming at the dirt floor. Don't get me started on that. And are we gonna talk about the bugs in the ceiling? Are you sure it's been up for 100 years? How many years have the bugs been in the ceiling there, buddy? It's about to collapse.
Best part, mercenaries? The price. For a tiny, almost inconsequential investment, you can finally become the proud tavern keepers you've always dreamed of being.
Inconsequential investment. That's what they all say. At least it's only a gold.
Excellent decision, mercenaries. You won't regret it.
I'm sure I will.
I'll leave you to your cleanup. You won't be needing me anymore.
Alright, let's do what we can here. At least we got a recipe for cleaning that. And then we need woodcutter to clean this up, so that gives spearmen strength. This kind of works like mining. I think I flunked that one up. And got a wall torch. Alright, the tavern is an establishment managed by the troop, which can generate revenue during each shift. To operate successfully, a tavern requires staff, equipment, and an extensive menu. The tavern's reputation is measured by prestige. Using prestige, you can unlock equipment and expand the tavern. The more numerous, varied, and satisfied your patrons are, the more prestige you will earn. The main ways to attract patrons and encourage them to spend money are comfort, security, and satisfaction, which are calculated after each shift. What would you like to name your tavern? Well, from the looks of it, you're going to get a dirty mug here, so that's the tavern name. Alright, let's look at staff. Actually, no. We're going to do this first. So, use this window to move, buy, or sell equipment. Increases tavern's prestige to unlock new types of equipment. When the upgraded version of a piece of equipment is available, you can buy it directly or upgrade equipment you already own. So let's place this. Probably buy another one. That way we can fit a few more people here. I would like a loot so I can have a bard, which is another person I can hire down the road. Didn't realize that took 3 spaces. And then wall decoration, the torch. Let's put that over there, so they have a little bit of light. Then staffing. Okay, we had to put down the bard thing to get a bard. Increases comfort by 11. Increases sales odd by 17 for all patrons in the area, and area of effect increased by 25%. So we're going to put him on bard. We only have 2 cooks, so both of them have to go on cook. We'll explain them in a little bit. So both of them increase food production by 4 and add 2 slots to the menu, and then both of them have the same specialty, so mastery, 20% chance to produce delicious dishes which can be sold at a higher price. And then 2 of the brewers have know-how, which ages alcohol 50% faster. And then this guy here, whose name I can't pronounce, has steady hand, so alcohol production increases by 3. I think he's the one who I'm going to have as our main brewer, just because we're not aging beer, which means these 2 are our bouncer and our tavern keeper. So let's see what does what here. So, because we need a tavern keeper to even run things, and then just a bouncer might as well. So satisfaction, alright, thoughtful service attracts upscale patrons, and loaded tray satisfaction increases by 5. Rather than attracts upscale and increases security by 10. I think I want the imposing presence there. So Finric, you can be a bouncer. That works out. Increases security by 8. De-escalation. Attracts upscale patrons and stretcher bear. Mitigates prestige losses by 10% in case of negative things. I think that works out. And then it looks like I can maybe put another table right here. Am I crazy? And it fits perfectly. All right. So we're going to let that run. A menu. We're just going to put everything we can here. It looks like milk has a shortage, so creme brulees are going to suck. We're still going to put everything we can on the menu. And then I'm going to lower the price. I guess we're not. I was going to lower the price of like everything just to get sales in the door. So bread has an 80. Grilled pork has a 95% chance. Wolf sausage has a 95. Just selling those for a little bit more there. Just get patrons in the door. And then I have to sell the creme brulee at 29 to even make a profit. So that has a 46% chance of selling. Brandy there's selling at 80% chance. That's fine. And we'll be okay with that. Then let's depart. Hey, are you that guy that took off with my money? Come back here. I don't think I'm going to catch up with them. Alright, so I got a camp. You can rest at a campfire in your camp, feed your troop, and pay their wages to avoid unrest. Resting refills your fatigue meter, restores valor points, and speeds up time. So we're going to plop down the cooking pot. Isone is going to go at the cooking pot. Who was my tinker? I don't have a tinker. So we're going to change the ranger here to a tinker, because I haven't done any alchemist stuff yet. So that way I can make some raw materials. And we'll get into some of that next time. For now, I can't make any meat, but we can at least eat some food. And we will pick up from here next time. I got 38 in profits, prestige up by 11, 9 patrons, which is getting people in the door. So that's great. And then, like I said, I'm gonna pick up from here next time. Maybe we catch up to that guy who stole my money, hire some more people, and then go towards those bounties. So that'll be it for this time. As always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time. Please have a good one.